It's time now for our Seen and Unseen segment, where we expose what's going on behind the big cultural stories of the day. Okay, President Trump's star now on the Hollywood Walk of Fame was smashed to pieces early this morning. But that may not be the most upsetting fact about the incident. For more, we're joined by Fox News contributor, New York Times bestselling author of the Will Wilder series, Raymond Arroyo. Now, this isn't the first time Trump's star has been defaced.
Sadly, it is not. No, it is multiple defacements. This star has been defaced more than Cher, okay? Austin Clay, this guy, 24-year-old today, he walks in with a guitar case, opens it, there's a pickaxe inside. He wails on the star. Now, this is nothing original. It happened in October of 2016. We've got video of it. There have been multiple defacements of the star. They've put stickers on it. They've put marks a lot on it. People have, you remember George Lopez a few weeks doing
urinated on it. Thank God we don't have that video.
Urination. We don't have that to
this
share.
Looks like a construction site. I mean, it's like
they literally go in and take pictures.
Why do they have like fluorescent vests? Those are people fixing it.
When you step back and look at this, it is an impulse to destroy, eradicate anything that offends you or that you disagree with. And this idea, this mentality, has slipped into other areas of Hollywood. Well, look at James Gunn. James Gunn is the multi-$100 million director of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. Disney fired him last weekend. They found tweets from 7 and 10 years ago where he made fun of child rape, pedophilia.
Lovely.
It's nasty stuff. But they instantly fired him. Now, the Hollywood Reporter wrote a piece. I want to put this full quote up. Here's what they said.
Rehabbing him.
In firing James Bernstein, Disney hurts all of Hollywood. And this is what they said. But so long as there has been no actual criminal activity, there has to be a difference between who a person was and who a person is. And we have to allow for the fact that people can change. Now, the stars of Guardians of the Galaxy have surrounded him. They're arguing.
I saw Chris Pratt came out. Chris Pratt came in.
Well, he issued a scripture quote. But here's the bottom line. Yeah. If people can change, why wasn't this same mercy accorded to Roseanne Barr, to Amy Powell, who was head of Paramount Television? She made a racially charged comment about an upcoming show in a black production. And they got rid of her instantly.
Double standard.
I believe in redemption. I think people are going to make mistakes. But we see this idea that some offenses are instantly excommunicable and they instantly drive you up. You're unemployable.
You can't work ever.
But some offensive speech apparently is not only accepted, but it's encouraged. This is a panel from this weekend's Comic-Con. Actress Zoe Kravitz in the new Harry Potter spin-off Fantastic Beasts was asked this at a panel.
If you could use your magic in the real world for good, what would you do?
Impeach Trump?
Wouldn't it be even better just to apparate him out of existence?
Dan is really good at making up spells. What would be the impeachment spell?
Right. Impeachius Maximus!
So I guess some speech, there were a lot of people at Comic-Con who felt that why did they have to politicize?
Everything is political.
This is a family movie. Why do we have to politicize Harry Potter now?
First of all, let's talk Comic-Con itself. That's the infantilization of adulthood. I was once in the same city where Comic-Con was.
Yeah.
These are men and women in their 40s and 50s dressed up as like Captain America, Wonder Woman. I don't like costumes. I'm not a costume person. Don't like the costume parties. But these are adult. These are parents, grandparents.
Then you wouldn't have liked Johnny Depp, who got up at the end of that panel you just saw at Comic-Con, and he appeared in costume as the villain he plays in the movie.
Fools.
A character who wants a racially pure wizarding world. Some thought this was a sly slap at Donald Trump.
We who live for freedom, for truth, the moment has come to rise up and take our rightful place in the world.
So, you see, apparently some offenses are acceptable, others are not. I'd just like to get the rule book on what is instantly fireable or not. Amber Heard, Johnny Depp's ex-wife, charged him with abusing her during their marriage in the divorce decree. He was allowed to speak. WB J.K. Rowling defended him. They've kept him on the film. But other people, they engage in the same behavior. They fire them instantly. Hollywood has to get its story straight. It's selective morality straight.
That's Comic-Con thing, and Johnny Depp gets me thinking, could I apparate you?
Me?
Wow. This actually...
Now, wait, is this what you mean by seen and unseen?
This actually works. This is great. God, if only Nancy Pelosi were here.
Thanks a lot.
Just a joke.
Can you bring me back?
No,
Hello?
you're gone. You're disappeared. Aspirate or apparate? Despite abolish ICE protests sweeping liberal strongholds across the country, the agency is scoring huge wins in the fight against illegal immigrant crime. Details coming up. You might have heard that abolishing ICE has become the cause du jour of the resistance, with anti-ICE protests popping up in progressive cities from Philly to San Francisco. Now, this demonstration at the ICE field office in Portland, Oregon, has been going on nonstop since June 17th. I hope they're taking shower breaks there. God bless them. And at the same time, ICE is doing its job, ensuring that illegals gunning down cops are brought to justice, like this man. 29-year-old Wisner Desmarais, a Haitian national who faces 8 felonies for shooting a Fort Myers, Florida police officer in the head over the weekend. ICE slapped a detainer on Desmarais, who is suspected to be an illegal immigrant. So do you really want to protest this kind of work? This officer is still in very, very serious condition. We should note that, of course, Officer Jobbers is in critical condition tonight, and a great sign that he has begun to breathe on his own, and our prayers are with his family and him. It's just a horrific deal that he's gone through. Joining me for reaction now is John Torres, a former acting director of ICE during the George W. Bush administration, and immigration attorney Alan Orr. Gentlemen, it's tough stuff here. ICE and protests, shut down ICE, reform ICE. Alan, you're a Democrat, you're an immigration attorney. Protesting ICE when ICE is doing, I mean, frankly, God's work on this violent crime stuff. And this officer's family, they're devastated. Illegal immigrant, almost killed him. Still not out of the woods yet. Your reaction?
Okay, so first on the specific case of the police officer, this is a aberrant story. It really doesn't happen that often. Really,
it doesn't happen that often?
Nope.
Is one police officer not too many? Well, one American dead is not too many?
It's an anomaly. So
it's an anomaly?
Yeah.
If that were, remember, your family, would you call that victim an anomaly?
Absolutely not.
You would not, right. So don't call a police officer an anomaly.
Well,
That's a police officer.
I was calling the situation an anomaly. And actually, when a foreign national is involved in one of these incidents, a foreign national is 10 times less likely to be involved in the crime than anyone else. And the concern around ICE is not with regards to what ICE is doing, but who ICE is concentrating on. And right now, ICE isn't concentrating on those individuals, such as the one that you talked about, the police case. They're doing low-hanging fruit. They're arresting people who are appearing to court to either testify in a crime, or people who are appearing to their ICE hearings, or people who are just going to work day to day. So ICE really isn't focusing on the level that they're supposed to be doing to protect security nationwide. That's the concern about ICE.
Here's some facts. ICE arrests are rising. You say they're not doing real criminal arrests, and John, you can comment on this. Fiscal year 2018 thus far, 675 criminal arrests versus last year, 139. Seems like a 5-fold increase to me. That's pretty good. Administrative arrests, 984, 172 in 2017. So they're doing both, doing admin arrests, criminal arrests. John, you were doing it. I mean, I get very emotional about this. I've always, as a criminal defense attorney, always suspicious of prosecutors. That's kind of my background. But when a police officer, a child, a woman, domestic abuse, child abuse, human trafficking, the things that we've seen done, I can't countenance. I can't abide by it. Anomaly, not anomaly. We shouldn't have one American brutalized by someone who shouldn't be in here. They shouldn't be here. John.
Laura, I've been seeing this criticism for my entire career. I can think of a number of times where a police officer has been shot, and not only were they shot and killed or seriously wounded, but it was because they were in a community where they were not cooperating with ICE. And the police department ignored an ICE warrant, an immigration detainer, and then let the person walk out of their jail. that same person later on goes and shoots a police officer. And next thing you know, we're getting calls from the city saying, hey, can you come in here and set up cooperation with us? We want to work, especially with the criminals on you. Well, let's talk about those criminals. Last year, ICE arrested almost 33,000 people on criminal charges. They rescued or identified over 500 child victims of predators. They identified or rescued almost 1,000 people related to human trafficking, not talking about even the thousands of gang members that they arrest every year, or the 1 million pounds of illicit narcotics that they seize every year, or the nearly $500 million that they seize in illicit financing. Yep. They do a lot more work than just immigration, and right. It's sad to me that the fine agents of ICE and Homeland Security investigations get painted with the broad brush. They get accused of being
Well,
Gestapo,
you know, it's very emotional, though, John. You got families, mothers crying, separated from their children. The images are very heart-wrenching for Americans to see. I'm a mother. I don't want to see mom separated. And so that does play on the other side. And I think people are like, oh, ICE, these bad guys, let the family stay together. So that's part of the narrative as well.
That's not a play, though, right? Because once again, we're talking about the same thoughts that you were talking about with police officers. Those are families. That's a woman's child. So those are the same.
Right. What about the women? What about the children in Nigeria who want to be here? And, and they have to wait and do it the legal way, right? Like, we can play that game all day long, Alan.
Well, it's not a game because they're not here.
Well,
we're talking about people
but
who
they broke our law. The people in
Nigeria
Nigeria are applying legally to come here, and they're waiting in line.
It's very important to understand that asylum is a legal process. All of those individuals
none of it's
separated.
None of it's fraud in your mind.
There may be some fraud involved in it, but right now, those individuals are entering the lawful way, so they require due process. You don't take a child away from a family, then say, let me see if you're able to have the family. You would have to say due process.
Do you think they should be deported together back to their home country, or do you think children should stay behind? I saw that argument made today by the ACLUs that some children should have their cases litigated separately from their parents, which seems to fly in the face of family unification. Do you agree?
I didn't see that specific case, but I don't think that they should have been separated in the first place. There should have been a total process where they came in, were able to file for asylum. They were either released.
Should they get Obamacare in the first month that they're here?
None of those individuals, there's no proof behind the fact that people are getting Obamacare.
Oh, should they? I'm asking you a question. I mean, if we're really going to be compassionate, Obamacare, recreational facilities, all those, I mean, should they get those?
I believe whatever benefits we give to individuals that we haven't should be afforded to them, which we're already doing. It's $40 million so far.
I just want to know, like, how much are you willing to spend on this? Luis Enrique Monroy Bracamontes, 37 years old, 2014, killed 2 California police officers. He laughed when he was being sentenced. He looked into the cameras that were there and he laughed. He knew exactly what he was doing. I remember that case, and it was brutal.
And he said
Shot him in the head.
Killed more. He wants to kill more.
And he said he wanted to kill more. So the idea is an anomaly.
But what's important is that all of those cases, the fact that the person was undocumented is not an inherent part of the crime. It happens all the time that in the U.S., police let people go who later go on to do violent things. It's happened in a couple of police shootings. I mean, school shootings recently.
Right.
So those facts are the same. So it's not inherent.
No.
The problem with releasing individuals is not inherent to the immigration question.
They shouldn't be in the country in the first place. You do not have a universal right to emigrate to the United States illegally. I know some people believe that, but there just is no universal right. Our framers didn't intend it. Our founders didn't intend it. The Declaration, the Constitution, there is a legal process. And if you don't follow the legal process, you end up in criminal activity. You should be banished from the country, and frankly, you should never be able to come back to this country.
But the problem is that Congress hasn't done anything for 10 years
or 15 years.
There's laws on the
books. There's laws.
But they have enforced these laws, right?
They should do more. Look, there's heartbreaking stories out there around the world. Everybody wants to come here. Not everybody. A lot of people want to come here. Can't bring everyone. Even Bill Clinton, even Obama said that. Can't bring everyone. It's got to be a process. Great conversation. Didn't mean to jump on you there, but it's an issue we all care about. Student or spy. An incredible case of potential espionage by China at Duke University. Right after this.